Yeah. Welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the superSTATbros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal, baby.
Oh yeah, he's here. We got a spicy episode for you boys and girls today. It's episode 20. Can't believe we've been doing this for this long. Somehow made it through. But we're going to be talking about the meta. We're going to be talking about Ravonna, new card. We've been playing with her for a few days. How we feeling? We're going to talk about Mobius coming out next week, here to shake up the meta. Talk about his spotlight caches and whether you should be spending your hard-earned resources on that. Then we're going to get into the November cards. No big deal. Hasn't seen these releases yet, and they're pretty damn OP. So it's going to be good to get a reaction from him. Then we're going to for sure get into those STONKS, baby. You know how we do. Let's get it! The kid! Nice, Mr. No Big Deal. I should first tell the people where they can find us. YouTube at the superSTATbros and Twitter, aka X, the kid_snap. Now that we got that nonsense out of the way, no big deal. How's your weekend snapping, my man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I've been grinding just Cerebro 5 pretty much all week. Well, obviously Ravonna came out,
Yeah.
So I had to, dust off the Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative feels decent with it. Some reveal combos of Dark Hawk lists. Even before Dara was putting that out, I had a list cooked up. I mean, you saw before the card even came out.
Of course, so. Yeah. We theory crafted for like a week. We were like sending weird lists back and forth to each other.
It's no secret. I mean, there's only so many cards in the game that are 0 or 1 power. So, picking the ones that are actually good and putting them in a deck, it's not that complicated, Yeah. But yeah, so I messed around with her for a couple days, and then the last couple days I've just been on that Cerebro 5 grind, just trying to enjoy it, before the Mobius comes around and changes the entire meta and the shape of everything that we know and love and hate.
Yeah. What kind of decks were you finding success with Ravonna, if any?
The only one I would say is Mr. Negative.
Yeah.
I didn't like the mid-rangey stuff too much, where you're playing the goblins and the Iron Man and everything. It just felt a little bit weak and just tough to play into Loki, because it kind of is a good cards deck in a way. So giving them all to Loki for 1 less cost is like 3 power Dark Hawk for 4 power Iron Man. All another -1 with Quinjet. You have no real answer for it. I mean, they could be playing a 3 power Iron Man, like a 2 power Dark Hawk now. Like it gets kind of crazy. So I didn't find that was a very good matchup. I don't want to play a deck that has a bad Loki matchup, at the moment. So I thought Mr. Negative was quite good. Definitely has all the issues that Mr. Negative has always had. And Mr. Negative's got some kind of low-key nerfs in the last couple changes. It's caught a couple strays, the biggest one being Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey was the best deck and the best card in Mr. Negative. We just don't have it anymore. At a 0-2, or 2-0, 0-2 is just unbelievable. And just not have Hit Monkey anymore is a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah. But Ravonna's a welcome addition. I think she makes the deck quite a bit better. And I took Psylocke out for Ravonna personally.
That's good. Yeah, I actually didn't play any Mr. Negative with Ravonna. I played some Brood Patriot. I went back to that filthy deck. Ravonna worked very well in there. Forge became a 1-cost card. Iron Man's a 4-cost card. Mm-hmm. Mystique and Patriot are both 2-cost cards. Mm-hmm. So you can do some pretty wonky stuff. Mm-hmm. Especially with Forge being 1-cost if Ravonna's out, it gets pretty silly. But yeah, I played that. I played Cerebro. I made a weird Cerebro 3 deck. I wanted to make a hipster one because I'm not a Cerebro player. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make one where I made sure I drew Cerebro, because every time I play Cerebro, I never draw it and I get really mad, and I stopped playing Cerebro.
You could do that in 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I played, this is my list. It was I have Adam Warlock in here, but I probably don't need him. But I have Bast, Snowguard. And I thought Snowguard was a good tech because it gives you 2/2/3s.
Yeah, that's genius.
And I really just loved playing Snowguard recently. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great card. Mm-hmm. I have Snowguard, Adam Warlock, Luke Cage, Jeff, Shadow King, the new Shadow King, Cerebro, Mystique, Crystal, Ravonna, Shang-Chi, and Valkyrie.
Yeah, I love that. And
So
also, Snowguard herself is a three with Vast as well and Valk. So
yeah,
you
yeah,
might
exactly.
get three threes out of one card. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like Adam Warlock probably didn't need to be in here because yeah, he was just, but if you bast him, he can, or you can Valkyrie him at the end as well to make him a 3.
Mhm.
Because you end up drawing a lot of your deck.
I will say, just to give you some credit, I mean, look, I'm not, I'm not the best player in the world or anything, but as a Cerebro enthusiast, I do think Snowguard's probably just better than Sentinel here. It's probably just a better version of Sentinel. Like, it does the same thing Sentinel does, but it has some
Yeah.
extra benefits of location control along with it, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Sentinel instead of Adam Warlock, right? Like Adam Warlock's not
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily
I'm,
like
I'm just saying they fulfill a similar role, right? They give
yeah.
you
Yeah.
multiple 2/3s that you can play, but the Snowguard ones, have extra effects attached to them, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, which are really enjoyable for Cerebro because a lot of times locations can screw
Yeah,
Cerebro.
yeah.
It's not going to help the negative ones or anything. That's what Luke Cage is for. But
Mhm,
to get into places where Cerebro can't, a lot of times it's nice to have.
mhm,
So this worked out all right too. And then I just screwed around with other random decks. I forget which one. Um, oh yeah, Kraken Null. He just makes great decks, and it was kind of like this Jund deck that I was playing before, but with Ravonna.
mhm,
Um, with Darkhawk and Iron Man. He threw a Hobgoblin in there too.
mhm,
To so playing a 4 cost Hobgoblin was fun.
mhm.
Or Silver Samurai and the Hobgoblin,
Oh, that's
and bringing
hilarious.
it bringing it back with Ghost Rider. It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, that's a nice play actually.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I did it a couple times. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's just fun to do that stupid crap.
Mhm,
But those are the Ravonna ones I played, and then I kind of just wanted to play more Move, so I was just playing just a guy named Thursday on Twitter. I was talking to him about Move. I'm like, dude, because he showed a Spider-Man 2099 that he has inked and crackled. I'm like, how? He's like, people just don't know how to play this card. I'm like, all right, give me your list. So this
mhm.
is his move list, which I played, and I think I lost like one game out of like a bunch that I played. I
Oh,
think
nice.
mainly because people in ranked, not in
Mhm,
conquest. I haven't taken this in
yeah,
conquest yet. Mainly because I think people don't know how to play against move because no one ever
mhm,
plays it.
yeah.
And I used to be a really big move enjoyer, so I'm happy to get back into it.
Mhm,
So this list has Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Dagger, Craven, Multiple Man, Cloak, Doctor Strange, Vulture, Hulkbuster, Spider-Man 2099, and Heimdall.
mhm.
It's a great list, and no one's running Killmonger, so like I don't feel bad about running Human Torch because there was a long period of time where Human Torch was just unplayable and moveless because everyone's running Killmonger all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So to get your Human Torch up quite a bit is good.
Even in the Killmonger metas, like you still kind of had to play Torch. Like you would just try to get it to like a 1/4 or 1/8 and just leave it at that point.
Yeah, you could, or you did. You didn't have to, just because it like I don't know. You could play like Magneto or something instead.
Mhm,
But so the things that activate Spider-Man 2099, Heimdall, great. Doctor Strange, great. Cloak, great. Then you have Ghost Spider and Iron Fist, but Cloak's just a great one.
mhm.
Um, yeah. So this is a move is just so much fun. There's so much variability, and there's so many different things that you can do that you're like, if you're a filthy casual like me, you're almost never playing the optimal line because
Mhm.
there's 4,000 things and people probably get mad at you for roping them, but you're actually just like overwhelmed with the amount of choices that you have.
Yeah, yeah.
You're just like, oh, I don't know.
Like especially
Is
like
it-
I haven't played too much. Well, except for this like recent like Shuri Kitty list in the last meta. Like I almost even I played a lot of move, but I never played it with a Hulkbuster or multiple man or anything like that. So even just oops, I put two cards in the same lane. Like now my
yeah,
Hulkbuster's a 50/50. Like
yeah, yeah,
I just bricked my own Hulkbuster. Like
yeah,
there's all kinds of like that's just a basic thing. Obviously, way more complicated lines than that, but like
yeah.
yeah, you gotta
Well,
even
yeah,
squad where you place every single card you place like matters.
well, I didn't really like play that much Hulkbuster and move to be honest with you, but
Mhm.
this guy had this list. I'm like, hey, listen, he's got everything inked in the list
Yeah.
and gold, and I'm like, he's played the crap out of this, and
Mhm.
I'll trust him more than I trust me. And so
Of
it's good
course.
on multiple man and it's good on Human Torch.
Yeah.
And just as a vanilla 3/5, you have nothing else. Like,
Mhm.
it's not like the worst play in the world.
True.
But
Mhm.
yeah, and you could take those 50/50s too.
Mhm.
But yeah, or you could just like cloak something out of the way if you screw up in your lane, or Iron Fist or Ghost Spider it out of the way
Mhm.
if you screw up in your lane, and then you could Hall Buster the next turn, and then like Heimdall it later or something, or Doctor Strange it later.
True. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
So you can create outs for yourself. Yeah, it's like it's just there's so much thinking and move, and it's fun. It's good, but you have to like be prepared to like suck a lot when you first start playing move
Mhm.
because there is so much, and you will screw up all the time. And if you're someone that really cares about your rank, then don't play move. But if you care about fun and learning something new and thinking, then play move
Yeah. Yeah.
because they destroyed my boy Thanos, and
Mhm.
he's just like he's really hard to play now. I'll just say it. He's like it just feels so bad to play him.
Feels kind of bad.
So
Yeah, I played a little bit and it felt kind of useless. And playing against it just doesn't feel like it used to. Like
that's
a lot of people have
y-
tried it against me, and it just feels kind of easy to beat them.
it
Honestly. Yeah.
it is easy to beat them. It's
Mhm.
hard. I don't know. He needs the card drawback, and they just need to nerf him some other way. People that just don't play a lot of Thanos, I think, don't understand how hard that nerf was for him.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, for me to be play a bunch of stuff and have a bunch of stuff move around the board, um, this deck works well for that.
What's the card after Doctor Strange before Hulkbuster? Polaris or what?
Vulture.
Oh, Vulture. Yeah, of course. Okay, sorry, I didn't see
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
Vulture. Yeah, Vulture, Hulkbuster, Spider-Man 2099, Heimdall.
nice.
Yeah. So, I spent my week probably doing that stuff with Ravonna and
Mhm.
yeah. Um I
So,
think
what are your overall thoughts with of Ravonna? Like, what would you rank her?
on like what scale? Like a 5-star scale or something?
Let's
Or like
say
a S tier, A tier, like what kind
let's
of
say one to 10, 10 being like the most broken card in the game, like just not even a fun factor, but just how good the card actually is.
how good is she?
Yes, because I think that's the more interesting discussion. I think we probably both agree the card design's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Like I like the card design. It's actually like almost I'd say it's more unique than Zabu. Like it's I don't know. I think it's a really interesting card design. Like I like it a lot.
It's
I
a
like
really
the
cool
idea
card
of it
design.
for sure. It's in
I
theory a
think
totally different deck.
I
So
would
I think
say
we are
now,
slotting her into existing decks, but eventually, let's say a year from now, like this could just be just a Ravonna deck at that point. Because there's so many one and zeros would come out at that point.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
maybe I don't know, maybe not, but
I think she's probably a 6.
on power level,
On like, yeah, if I had to rank her on one scale of 1 to 10, how good is
mhm,
this card? I'd
yeah,
say she's right now in this meta, right now,
mhm.
she's slightly above average, I would say.
I would say four probably.
You think she's below average, you think?
I think so. Yeah,
Like 5 is like good, like all right, is an okay card. And then
yeah.
like
Five would be I don't know Vision, like I guess Polaris. I don't know, like
well, I don't know. Like just say 5 is like an okay, like you okay, this card's okay.
I'm just looking at my cerebral file, but like Lizard, like actually no,
Yeah.
Lizard's higher than a five for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anything under 5 is like, this card needs to be stronger. Anything over 5, maybe not. Like,
I do think she's under. Yeah, I do think she needs to be stronger, and she's underpowered. I'm scrolling through my list now to try to find something. Okay, like right now, Scorpion is kind of like a five, I think. Uh, you know,
no one
you know
plays
how
Scorpion. I
the
think he's underrated, honestly.
yeah, but maybe it's how the mighty have fallen type of situation. Um, God, what would be a five?
Yeah, I don't know. This is hard to say. I mean, we're gonna go through it. But
Yeah,
anyways, yeah, we're in the same ballpark anyway. Like we're not saying like she's a 10. We're right around like she's about average. I think maybe she's a bit above average. You think she's maybe a bit below average, and
yeah.
I,
I think she's a little weak. I think
I would agree to you. I would
yeah.
agree with you too. Like I would say she's on the lower end of good. She's not like great, but she's like maybe I said 6 because like she's fun though. She is fun when you get to play her.
I do find her really fun, and I do find just the playing a new kind of deck is just fun. Like a new set
Yeah,
of
yeah,
cards that we didn't get
yeah,
to play before, put them
yeah,
together because of her. I like that a lot.
yeah. And I
Um,
think like, and also the reason why I said 6 is because I think that it's early, and once people discover more combos and things that'll work better with her, I think she'll go up. But it's been like only a couple days, so we're like far from optimized. And I guess part of my being 6 is like what I think she will be in like a week.
Yeah, it's tough with just there's wave everywhere, and
That's true.
you want to play a bunch of
You're right.
cards out. Like it's kind of like where Sarah's at right now. I guess I wouldn't put Sarah as a 4. I guess, right. Like I would put Sarah
Mhm.
higher than a 4. And in a way, in this deck, like she is
Until
a
next
better
week.
she's a better Sarah, like in her own deck. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm being too harsh, but it just feels tough to play these kinds of decks into wave, or Loki. Whichever one. Either playing Loki or you're playing wave to counter the Loki, right? Either way, for Ravonna, it's a tough place to be. I think just like trying to play like a Sarah deck right now. I don't think is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I agree. I agree.
And
Yeah,
the
but
and the counter hasn't even come out yet. So it's like it's tough.
I know. Yeah, like I wouldn't. I like. I'm not. Let's put it this way. I didn't roll spotlights for her. I spent
Mhm.
3,000 tokens to get her.
Yeah, same.
I
Yeah.
I don't regret spending 3,000 tokens to get her because
Mhm.
I was having fun. I don't
Mhm.
think she's high power level. Like, oh, I can slot her in all my decks. I can't.
Mhm.
I for sure would never have spent 6,000 tokens on her.
Mhm.
And I'm happy I didn't roll spotlight caches to get her. But if you wanted Zabu, then that's fair.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with all that for sure. And
Yeah, Jean Grey too. Like,
I don't regret it either. Like I said, just because I like the card design, I think it's a cool card. Any card like that, like they could always buff in the future anyway. Like
yeah,
even like look at Snowguard, like you would have bought that. Like, oh, now I
yeah,
got Snowguard, like it's a sick card now, So Phoenix Force, so cards like this, if it really is super underpowered, I just think they'll buff it. Maybe move
I
it
don't.
to like
Yeah,
two
I don't
copies.
think. Yeah, I don't think they'll buff her. I think that once more cards comes out, and then maybe
Yeah.
they'll nerf some of the other cards, that she's gonna be good because this is a very powerful ability. I think that she
Yeah,
has.
and because it's so powerful, like just down the road, it could be
Yeah,
just like a sick deck. Like a top deck could just be a Ravonna deck all of a sudden. Like I
yeah,
could easily see that happening at any like in 2 months from now, easily. So
yeah,
um, yeah, so yeah, but I think right now she feels a little weak to me. Um, the decks, like you said, I found them fun. I like the super combo heavy ones, like kind of like the Patriot deck you were showing, because I think with decks like that you can fight against Loki. You know, so they like they might steal your Mystique, but they don't get your Patriot, or they get some brick that it's a card that the Patriot wants to boost, and now it's just a brood on its own.
yeah,
Uh, so even who cares if it's a 2-cost brood, if it's just like a 2-cost brood still sucks. Like you have nothing to do, nothing to boost it or
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
So it just takes up a bunch of space basically. So
yeah. And
um,
your Ravonna acts as a pseudo Loki as well for cards that
yeah,
you wanted to
exactly.
work with.
So I do like those kind of decks. Even like the kid. I mean, kind of bearing the lead here. All right, listen, people at home. I need to tell you guys something. All right, the kid did something that I have never seen in my life before. Okay, in the game of Marble Snap,
What I
he took
do?
a deck. And he's just talking about 5 different decks, but not the deck that he went 30-0 in Conquest. So
Oh,
that's
oh yeah, I did do that.
you went into Gold Conquest and you
Yeah,
had 10 life points, or what do we call them? Cubes. Let's call them cubes. Cube life.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
What do you call it? You
yeah, yeah.
10
I guess the
cubes.
life or whatever.
You had 10 cubes,
Yeah,
and you took the other guy down to 0. Then you went to the next Gold Conquest, 10 cubes to 0. Next Gold Conquest, 10-0. Thank you. Got the Infinity ticket. Right
yeah,
now, Infinity Gauntlet is not open yet. This is the highest level of Snap that you can play. If you want to play against the best people that you could possibly play against, right now, you have to go to Gold Conquest. Okay, because or maybe like top 100 on the ladder, maybe. Be one of those two things. So even then, though, you're still playing ladder at the end of the day, right? You're still grinding out
yeah.
ladder. So I don't know, man. Like tell the people, kid, about this high evil lockdown deck that went
Thank you.
30-0 in freaking Gold Conquest. I mean, it's insane.
Hi, high praises, high praises. I appreciate it. One
Well,
guy
I
did
mean,
rate
I'm
one.
I'm spitting nothing but facts.
Well,
Facts,
I didn't.
no, all facts, no feelings.
Yeah. Well, one guy, one guy rage quit. So there was that. After like I think I beat him 2 games in a row, and then he rage quit because I don't forget I got him down to 2 or something. But
Still 30-0,
um,
baby.
yeah. So Well, I think I just wanted to play Eliath and I wanted to play Haivo. And I thought that Lockdown would be good with Eliath. And I didn't want to play Loki because there's way too much Loki going around.
Mhm.
So I haven't actually played that much Loki this week at all.
But
If
you got
any,
the
I don't
wave in
remember.
there just in case.
Yeah, you're damn right. I got the wave in there.
Yeah.
So I'll say what this Evo deck is. And then I noticed. So So I did this gold conquest over about a week because I don't really play conquest that much. So I played
Mhm.
like one like match every couple days or something. And I
Mhm.
just like whatever. I didn't do it all in a row. So when I first played this deck, I'll say it. It's Sunspot, Nebula, Misty Knight, Jeff, Storm, Wave, Cyclops, High Evo, Professor X, Eliath, Doctor Doom, and Hulk. Um, when I first made this deck, I think I looked for some generic lockdown deck, and then I added Eliath in or something.
Mhm.
I tweaked one that I found a little bit. I forget where I found it from, but anyways, I played the first one and won 10-0. And then I think the next day or the day after, Cozy made a big like video about a lockdown
Yeah.
um Eliath or lockdown Evo, sorry. And
Mhm.
then I'm like, oh damn it. Now everyone's gonna be playing this stupid deck. Cause
Yeah.
like I just 10 0'd someone. I'm like, okay, I think I found the sauce. No
Yeah.
one's playing this. This counters a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then everyone started playing it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn it! So I was pissed. So the first person I played against was a
Mhm.
destroy deck, and I beat them pretty handily.
Mhm.
It felt very easy. I never felt like I was in any jeopardy of losing. Um,
Yeah, Pro X Rex destroy. Also, Wave's really good too. They're trying to play like death and +1 on the last turn, like
yeah,
try to shut
Storm
that
is
down.
good too.
Yeah.
The only thing I was worried about was Killmonger.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. You don't have armor in here, I guess. Some of these versions will run armor. This one doesn't have armor, so yeah, you are
yeah,
a little bit
which is like
vulnerable there.
the
Yeah.
reason why I didn't run armor is because no one's playing
No,
Killmonger
no
at
one's
all.
playing
So I'm like,
destroy. Yeah, yeah. When I played this deck, a lot of people were playing destroy. So I
yeah.
definitely put the armor in. But yeah.
Yeah, so I really focused on getting Professor X on my one drops
Mhm.
as quickly as possible. I mean,
Mhm.
as soon as I could, just to avoid
Yeah.
that exact thing from happening. So the destroy I felt very easy. It was very kind of cruise through. Then
Mhm.
the last two were mirrors, basically. Everyone, I was like, what the hell is this shit?
That's great.
Um, so the second guy I played, the guy that ended up rage quitting, was he was playing like a high Evo lockdown, but he was like seemed like more control. Like he ran Juggernaut as well.
Mhm.
So there were a few times where he Juggernauted out of my storm lane,
Mhm.
like Juggernauted me out of my own storm lane,
Yeah.
and like I still won the lane. Like
Mhm.
every time, I think that's why he probably got pissed
Mhm.
because I have like there's a lot of reach in this lane. Like I have Doctor Doom, Jeff, and then Misty Knight can like get things over as well.
Just zap it. Yeah.
And then the third match was another Evo lockdown, which was similar to mine. One of them ran Eliath and one of them didn't. I don't remember which one. And then I don't know. I just beat that guy.
Mhm.
Just this deck is pretty nice. You get your one drops down. You float mana when you can. You try and lock down a lane right away. You try and get Storm on a lane as quickly as you can.
Mhm.
Usually over one of your one drops if you can. You play Cyclops on the Storm lane if you can do that. And then I like on turn 5, either you wave and like Jeff, or wave and one of your one drops would be better, or just wave to float mana.
Mhm.
If you have your 6 drops in your hand, that's what you want to aim to do. If you don't have wave in your hand, or you don't have your 6 drops in your hand, then you want to try and maybe Professor X on turn 5
Mhm.
into one of the lanes that is gonna, give you stonks like Cyclops, Nebula or Sunspot.
Yeah.
And you could always add Jeff in there after if you really need to.
Mhm.
So and then on turn 6, you can either like one of the rounds, like I played 3 games and it was 3 rounds and I won in 3 rounds. But, like I played a different 6 drop every time. So like he was not ready.
Mhm.
Like the first game I played Eliath and like just completely wrecked him. I
Yeah.
think for 4. Then the second game, another snap game, then I played Hulk because
Mhm.
he probably thought I was going to play Eliath and then I wrecked him.
Yeah.
And the third game, he locked down one of the lanes, and he didn't know I had Doom at that point. And I think he thought he won that lane,
Yeah.
and I played Doom, and like,
You get the storm lane now. Yeah.
and then I got, yeah. So like I had the other game. He thought he won the storm lane and the lane he was gonna do his big stuff in, and I was like, nope. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's a great deck. I love it right now. I wish there wasn't so many of them going around because I'd like to not play mirrors. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, this was a really fun deck. Eliath kind of adds. I really do like Eliath in this deck actually.
Bro,
I
Elias is
mean,
crazy. Elias is a
it's
crazy
so
card.
nice because like you can get ahead pretty easily in a lane. Like in this because you lock down a lane, you're
Hmm.
basically winning that lane.
Yeah.
And then you just got to work on getting ahead in one lane, which isn't too hard with like Nebula, Sunspot, getting ahead in one other lane. And then you just shut them down with Goliath. It's amazing.
I know. I mean, I was trying to pump up Elias last week. You know, I was a little bit inebriated. I'm not gonna lie, but I was pumping him up, and I'm telling you, man, this card's insane. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Elias this week in Cerebro 5, but yeah, the card is nuts. It adds like a lot. I think at least with I remember when the Absorbing Man Brood deck was around, and Absorbing Man was 5 power. I was saying, oh, this is just like Cerebro 5 deck, but like it's better. Like it has more power. That deck put out more power than C5. Well, now that C5 got Elias, it kind of solves all the problems that the deck had, where it's just basically like, say they play like a Shuri Red Skull or something, like you can't like do anything about that. Basically playing any Cerebro deck, like someone goes super tall in a lane, you're playing a bunch of, if you're playing Cerebro 2, maybe it's a bunch of 7 costs, the Cerebro 5, a bunch of 7 costs, like there's, Cerebro 3, a bunch of, either way, it's a bunch of 7 cost cards, like
Mhm.
you can't just beat like a 40 bomb in one lane. Like you can't do anything to that. You just lose unless you have Elias who just kills the card. He doesn't give a shit. He just goodbye, And then you're gonna win the other 2 lanes because you have a bunch of 7s everywhere. They can't do 40-40. So you,
Yeah.
you bomb one of them with Elias, and then you got like 14-21 in the other 2 lanes. Like what are they gonna do? They can't do
Yeah. No,
nothing.
it's great. It's
Yeah.
great. He's a great card. I like him a lot.
Man, he's crazy, but he's going really hard. I think really interesting card, and like yeah, especially in a deck like this, you would think Eliath kind of counters a deck like this, but shit, if you just play your own, I mean, God, because it would counter the Hulk, right? Like in this deck, it almost feels like the Hulk counter, but you
Yeah.
have rock, paper, and scissors all in the same deck. Like you said, they
Exactly.
don't expect the scissors at the end. They go, all right, you got
Yeah.
rock and paper. Here's
Yeah.
scissors, like Doctor Doom, like all 3 lanes.
Yeah.
You
And I
got
think
all
I
three
was
lanes, tall in one lane, hard counter your tall one lane. Like that's
yeah,
sick.
and you're also really like good at these lockdown decks. You're also a lockdown enthusiast.
Oh,
So
I
this is
love
when
these
you made
things.
your yeah, you made your like day one infinite a couple
Yeah.
months ago on this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so because I was talking to you, I'm like, dude, I'm seeing these friggin' high evos.
Mhm.
I want to put, I wanted to like tuck in Luke Cage here because that would just like completely like help with the
Mhm.
mirror
Yeah.
and like just bad locations and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm like, who do I take out? And you're like advocating to take out Doom, and I'm like, bro, Doom is like winning games, man. He's like going
Yeah.
hard right now. I cannot take out Doom. Like I can't in good conscience. Like
Well, at the time, I was playing it over like Wave, for example. They would take up my Wave slot, but there was no Loki. There was no like I'm swarming the board with 6 cards like that.
yeah,
That wasn't really happening. Even against like it was mostly Kitty Bounce was the other card, which yeah they might play some cards, but if you lock down lanes against Kitty Bounce, like now they can't play their cards, so it's kind of redundant to have Wave as well at that time when I played it. So
yeah.
I mean, Wave is like the premier tech card. I think that's a genius call by you. A few weeks ago when we did the top 10 list, you put Wave at like 4 or something. Like, I
I
mean,
think I had
she's
her at
there,
two.
man. This is
I had her
one.
at
You're right. This
two
is one of the best cards in the game. I think I
or
was
three.
a little too low on her. I had her at like 12.
Yeah,
So yeah, like essential card now for sure. I mean, so strong at 5 to play Wave plus another card.
yeah. She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good, and more so on ladder than in Conquest. 'Cause Conquest you could eventually play around her, but if you're smart enough. But on ladder, it's just like everyone's playing Loki decks, and you can just play Wave, and no one's unless you're like in the top 100, no one's playing around it right away, and they're not realizing you're going to be playing Wave on 5.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent though. I mean, I still think she's sick in Conquest. Like,
I think so too. I think
if
so
you're
too.
playing Loki deck, I mean, because the thing is, the Loki deck, they're not. You don't always want to play Loki on three. Like, it's actually super awkward sometimes to play Loki
No.
on three. Like, you
Yeah.
have to have the absolute perfect draw. Like, I got Quinjet, then I got Collector, now I got Loki. Even then, you probably still want to like play something else and go like Snow Guard Loki on four because it's just going to give you
Oh
way more
yeah.
cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So even when they know it's coming, you just by having wave in the deck, like you totally ruin their plans. They do not want to dump on five. Some decks don't mind dumping their hand on five, but like these Loki decks, they don't want to do that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't fit their play line. So um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's really sick. I think it's a sharp call, and then just the fact that it's high Evo just kind of naturally counters the Loki deck too, right? They get a Misty Knight, like, oh great, I got Misty Knight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 1-2. Can't
Zero
even
two
go
for
below
them.
one. It's like hard counters it. And they got a sunspot that they can't, that hasn't been building up all game. So
Yeah. They can go below one with Loki. Loki can get zeros.
oh, Loki can. Okay, my bad. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of
Yeah. Yeah.
Quinjet. I'm thinking of Quinjet. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, they'll get a 0 0 0, but
Mhm.
still taking them spots on their board a 0 2. I mean, it's a free wasp. It's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they just
I think like I was thinking about it, and because at first I played this because I'm like in my head when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, okay, like this, like High Evo's like counters Loki pretty good. Like it seems to have one of the better matchups against Loki,
mhm,
and I didn't want to just keep playing Loki. Like I don't know,
mhm.
I just when everyone's playing a deck, I don't like playing the same thing as everyone else. It's
Yeah.
boring to me. So I
Mhm,
like playing other stuff, and then I'll play like Loki in a month, like and I'll be fine. Like for the first couple days, I was really having fun with Loki. Then I'm like, okay, once it's all the mirrors, and it's like, all right, come on. Like when High Evo came out, like for 3 days, 4 days, like all you were playing was High Evo mirrors. It's like, oh, come on,
mhm.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Um,
Yeah, it was
but
really
where was I
crazy.
going with this? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting on these stupid tangents. So
Mhm,
yeah, I thought this was like, oh okay, this like is gonna counter Loki because when like they get your cards, they don't get the high Evo stuff. They
mhm.
just get the vanilla cards. So that was my initial thought, and then I'm like, I thought about it more over the last week, and I'm like, well, getting a 5/12 Hulk is pretty damn good. Like getting a 2/4 Cyclops is pretty damn good. Like never mind, like it's still really good to get these cards, even if they're
Oh
vanilla.
yeah,
Like
and four Professor X is like scary. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, so like it's still pretty damn good. And like even like okay, so what I was thinking too, I'm like, so if they, yeah, like a 5 hour Doctor Doom, like okay, I'm gonna wave on five, and they're gonna play like a 5/12 Hulk. Like
Mhm.
Loki's still good into high Evo. I think the more I thought about it this week, I'm like, it doesn't really counter that much.
Well, I was thinking too in this deck, if you did want to counter a bit more, you're not playing Wasp at all. So maybe you could do like Sunspot for a Wasp or something. Um, if
Yeah,
so you could do something like that, it would be a simple change where, yeah, you're not playing Wasp, right? So,
yeah.
um,
Well, so I didn't run into Loki in Conquest, so I
yeah.
don't know. I just played two mirrors and a destroy deck.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll try this in the Infinite, and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Like Wasp is a brick for them, like.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't want to play Wasp. I'd
Yeah.
much rather have Sunspot.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I understand why you got the Sunspot for sure.
Yeah, and then you get like a 1/3 Jeff. That's like ridiculous.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you're
True.
lucky and you steal Jeff, it's
Mhm.
insane. It's a strong card. But again, like how have you felt with that like this week now? Have you felt like anything's been oppressive or anything like really ruining your fun? There's a lot of sentiment on Twitter of people having not having fun and saying it's a stale meta and boring, and I'm like, well,
Well,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's not that bad.
stale's a strong word when you could play like 4 or 5 decks, like at least, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I mean, the last 2 3 days I've just been playing Cerebro 5 nonstop. And like I said, I mean, I said it on the last week's pod, but I love this meta just because it's like, discard and Cerebro are awesome right now. And
Yeah,
discard's had some moments where it's been pretty good. But my God, I mean, Cerebro's always been just dog. Just I mean, tier three is like generous. I think it was always like F tier deck.
yeah,
Uh, but like it was one of the first cards I ever pulled in the original collector's caches, and
yeah,
the second card I bought in the shop was Mystique. So like I was just all over this deck. I just loved it from the beginning. It was like the third card I
yeah.
pulled, and the deck I've been running, I mean, I've won the last 6 conquests I've played with it. I haven't been 30-0ing like you. Like I'm not crushing like crazy, but
I mean, that's luck. That was luck. Sorry.
yeah, I don't know, man. 30 is like the numbers don't lie, man. But anyway, so the one I've been playing is Luke Cage. So it'd be interesting to match up into this that you're playing because I got the Luke Cage, not for high evo, just because it's a Cerebro deck, and I don't want to, I want my cards to be boosted. Medusa. This is a pretty standard list, I guess, but Lizard, Silk, Cerebro, Wave, Polaris, Spider-Man, Enchantress, Miles Morales, Alioth, or Elias, sorry, and Doctor Doom.
Whatever.
Hooglin's running a similar list to this, but he's playing Stegron, I think, and I used to play Omega Red in here for funsies, but I tried teching in the Enchantress, and I figured maybe it's bad against Loki. They take it, they zap my Cerebro, but this is not a Cerebro Mystique deck. If they got to play out Enchantress like that, like that's fine. It's still mostly bricky. You're giving them a little 3/5 that probably isn't getting boosted. It's not a big deal. So, and you got Wave in here to, just wreck low-key players. So, man, this deck feels sick. And I've been having a blast with it. I'm going to probably keep playing it this week. I don't find it stale. I mean, I'm running into all kinds of different stuff out there. Like, it's not just, like last week when we did this pod, it felt pretty stale to me. Not stale, but it just felt like 40% Loki.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot more Loki last week. I'm seeing a lot less.
Yes, I'm seeing a lot less. I think with the release of Ravonna, people are trying out stuff with Ravonna, and that's another reason why I put Enchantress in there, just zap the Ravonna. But yeah.
So what some people are saying is that what I see is like people are sick of playing against Loki and Galactus because Galactus made a resurgence with Goliath. So
yeah.
This
deck just light. I mean, yours is great too because you have lane lockdown. So both our decks, we like wreck Galactus here. Like I have like Polaris in the deck. Like the Galactus, they can't do anything against this deck. It's a tough matchup for them. And then and then I have my own Goliath, right? So the Galactus player has their Goliath, but usually I can get Prio and because they're Galactus deck, they're stacking like Daredevil on a lane. Like you can't get Prio like that, So what are they gonna do?
That's true. And playing Galactus never, except when it was like everywhere before it got nerfed, never really bothered me that much. Like it bothered some people. I'll just like leave if I like they Galactus and I can't do anything. And I'm like, all right, just take your cube and good game.
That tilted me. That bothered me just for that exact reason. It's like you wasted both our time. Well, you didn't waste your time. You just wasted my time because you had fun and I had to just give up a cube. And our time on Earth is limited. I mean, there's no like more valuable resource than time.
That's because you never had Galactus.
Look, this is Chrono Trigger right here. Luna doesn't like Chrono Trigger. All right, sorry. As I cut you off, I was just saying, like time is the most valuable resource we got. And I feel like the Galactus player is playing solitaire basically. And, So. For me, it was tilting. But I mean, playing Galactus now, especially in Conquest, back then there was no Conquest 2, so Galactus was extra tilting, right? Because the only way to play is ladder, and it's like surprise Galactus, now, like what you're getting into. Like you don't have to snap on the first game. Like you can wait and see, pretty much max you're gonna lose is like 2 cubes finding out that it's a Galactus deck.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what people are complaining about on Twitter. Anyways, they say, it's all Galactus and Loki. It's very stale, and some people are like, I'm just gonna wait till they change it or the meta changes. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lucky and I'm not in that same like. And maybe they're in a higher tier than me because I'm like a filthy casual. But I'm not seeing too much this week anyway. Like average amount of Loki, like nothing oppressive, and a Galactus here and there. Like I destroyed a Galactus deck with move. They waved and then I just played Heimdall. And it shifted like Human Torch and everything into the one lane that they were going to play Galactus in. And I'm like, if they play it in the other lane, Heimdall's 8. And so it just cocked them immediately. They just lost 8 cubes. I don't know why they stayed in the game. But,
they wanted to see it. Maybe they're just in disbelief, They wanted to see it.
They don't. People don't know how to
Maybe
play against
they
Moog.
wanted to
It's
let you
hilarious.
cook. They're just like let him cook, you know, like let him
Yeah,
cook. Let's see
in
what
our
else he's got. Let's see what.
they're like, yeah, they're like, I'm a filthy Galactus player. I'm gonna, I'm gonna let this Moog guy just cook.
Let him cook. Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
Uh,
But yeah. So, anyways, I'm still enjoying the meta. I'm still having fun right now.
Yeah, I mean, to counter that point, I mean, look, and in their sense, I agree with them in the sense that, yeah, I mean, Loki is stronger than all the other decks, I think. But,
Yeah, yeah,
talking
easily,
about the
easily.
meta, I mean, if you compare Galactus, like, I think there's better decks than Galactus, just win rate wise. I mean, you got the super stat bros now. I know you got the stats now, but I would be willing to bet
Yeah.
Galactus probably not number 2 deck right now in win
No, I
rate.
think Galactus's win rate is like 52%.
Yeah, that's not great, right?
No.
There's bots included in that, right? So, um,
Yeah,
you don't
I
have
can
to
pull
look
it
it
up
up,
right
but
now.
to,
Oh, you
to
talk. I'll look it up.
yeah, just to overall, somewhat counter that point. All right, let's say okay, it's Loki Galactus. Well, that's 2, but what about High Evo? It's really good. Discard is really good, and Cerebro is really good. So, I mean, right there, we got 5 decks. Like, I don't know, I don't think 5 viable decks is a stale meta to me.
Yeah,
You know,
no. No. So, I mean, if you look at pool 3 plus in player rank 100 on ladder, then it is Move is number 1 with like Silk and stuff.
yeah.
High Evo's number 2. Not High Evo Lockdown. High Evo Lockdown's in there, but it's not the number 1 deck.
Mhm.
Then there's Eliath Ramp, which is A tier as well,
That's a
which is
Galactus deck, though, right?
Galactus
Yeah,
with
yeah,
53% win rate,
yeah.
0.25% cubes. This is in infinite
Mhm.
from the latest patch data. Cerebro 5 is A tier as well,
There you go. Boom.
54.7. Has a higher win rate than Galactus, but a 0.01% less cube.
Cube. Yeah,
Then
makes
B
sense.
tier is like Shuri, Shinnot, Patriot, Galactus. This says Galactus
Mhm.
in B tier, but Loki discard. Loki's in B tier. Discard Eliath Lockdown.
Well, yeah. So if you take the 4 decks, I mean that's 4 in A tier, and then let's just add Loki to that, and that's 5 decks that you can play. So I mean, I don't know, man. 5 decks is a stale
Yeah,
meta. Shit, I'll take 5 decks any day. Like,
yeah,
and the thing is, they're gonna change too. Like with the new cards that come out, Mobius is gonna come out. It's gonna be maybe hopefully a new 5 decks like that are good. Like I don't know. So
yeah. And even let's see. I'll pull them up here. This is
yeah.
Conquest Gold tier Pool 3 plus latest patch. High Evo's number 1.
Yo, Move. I didn't realize Move had actual stats. I thought you were just having fun. Like, what the hell? What's going on
No,
here?
no, no. They count. No, my move is like
Oh,
the real move. This is like the
oh,
Silk.
Silk and
Yeah,
Craven. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like here, like Craven,
Yeah,
Spider
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Here's
Little movers. They're calling
the
it.
little
Yeah,
movers. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And
but
then
still, no Galactus in there, and no Loki or Galactus in that deck.
yeah, and for ranked, this is for ranked, just in
Mhm.
infinite only from the
Mhm.
latest patch. Is move the move is like number 1.
Mhm.
The Silk move still high, and then High Evo, Eliath, Cerebro 5, and then there's a ton in B tier. Loki's down here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, 17%. I guess that's pretty high, right? Play rate. So yeah, I can see it. People want to see Loki every
Yeah,
time.
the popularity. Yeah, that's it'll go down. Wait till Monday night.
I mean, it might not. Like, I don't know, right? So, oh yeah, wait till Monday. Yeah,
I
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
think this is
Monday
a
is
good.
going to the
I think this is
ground.
a good trend. I think this is a good transition
Yeah,
to
yeah. Let's see how.
wait till Monday when this guy comes out.
Mhm.
Mobius M Mobius, a
Mhm.
2/3 with an ongoing ability. Your costs can't be increased, and your opponent's costs can't be reduced.
Mhm.
So basically, if you have Mobius out and you play Wave on 5, and your opponent does not have this card out,
Mhm.
you can play a 6 drop for 4 energy, and then you can play
One
a
or two.
two
Yeah.
1 drops, or you could play a 2 drop
Mhm.
because your cards will not be, your cost can't be increased. So Wave makes everything 4. Nope, it won't make any of your 1, 2, or 3 cost cards cost 4.
But then it gets complicated because do you even
Yes.
include Wave as a potential brick in your deck, as your opponent might also have their own Mobius out to counter your Wave, which now is just a 3/3 vanilla, right?
The
So
answer to that is in 1 month time,
yeah.
yes, you do. And in the first week, no, you don't.
No, yeah, everybody's playing it. That's smart. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I'll vote for it.
this card I think is gonna. I really, really believe it's gonna shake up the meta. I could be very wrong, but I think this card is gonna just completely shake up the meta because the Loki decks are gonna be crap if this card is out, or they're gonna have to tech in cards like Enchantress or Rogue, um, and use the resources to play that. Because if a Loki deck steals your cards, then the cards won't be reduced. They'll just be the cards that you have in your deck that they can just play at regular cost that probably have no combo potential
Mhm. This
on whatever turn.
I agree with everything you're saying, and I want to also add that this feels like the Legion of this season. I mean, it's not as sneaky. You know, a lot of people are sleeping on Legion. Nobody's sleeping on this card. But
No,
in the sense of like it could just go in basically every deck, right? Like people are just playing 5/8 Legion in every single deck. Like
yeah.
this feels like like you just play it. You shut down Zabu, Quinjet, Ravonna, Loki. Goodbye, Wave. You protect yourself from Wave. Like
I
uh,
think you should play this in every deck. Even locations like Dream Dimension. Is that the
yeah,
one? What's the one where on turn 5 your cards all
yeah.
cost one more? Is that
I don't
Dream
remember what
Dimension?
it's
Whatever
called,
it's
but
called.
yeah, yeah.
Uh yeah, like then your cards on 5 don't cost more
Yeah,
if you
also
have this
the
card out.
ice box or Iceman too.
Yep.
You just counter Iceman. Shit, I've been hyping up Iceman. That's gonna be a dead card in a couple days.
Spider Ham stonks.
We're
Spider
going
Ham
back to
stonks.
Spider Ham, baby.
That's right, baby. He's
Yeah, I
good.
mean, honestly though, like
Yes.
why not? It's a leech, just a little one cost
Yeah.
leech. Why not?
I mean, not that she's like that popular right now, but goodbye, Sarah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Like,
I didn't even write down Sarah as one of the things that affects. Yeah, because I haven't seen Sarah in so long. I actually did play against one Sarah deck, but yeah, she got wrecked. But what can you do? Yeah,
yeah,
what's
I
what
mean,
happens when you're playing Wave and
there's
the
still
Sarah
some Sarah
fusion.
decks that are doing. Yeah, there's some Sarah decks that are doing quite good.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is just gonna wreck all that stuff.
Sarah's tough versus Wave though, right? Because Sarah costs 5, and you're playing Wave on 5, so there's nothing you can do, right? Like if they play Wave on 5, like in your Sarah deck, is it like you know
Yeah, yeah,
you gotta call it.
yeah. Wave countered Sarah decks
It
always.
owns them like way more than Loki. Like Loki, it gives them some problems, but yeah, Sarah is just hard counters them.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if you're playing this in your like, we're only talking about if one person has the Mobius. Like, if the
Oh
other
yeah, what
person
if
has
you play this in your Sarah deck? Yeah,
yeah,
because it's a
then
2 cost card, which is perfect for a Sarah deck.
yeah, but then like your Sarah cards, they still don't work if your opponent played it, but
Yeah.
everything if two Mobiuses are out, so the way it works is I think second dinner confirmed this is like
Mhm.
if they're both out, then your cards will always just cost what they were supposed to cost and they can't be changed.
Yeah, that's a pretty brutal run out for the Sarah decks for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well just cut Sarah from your list at that
Yeah. Yeah.
point. She doesn't do anything. She's a 5/4.
Yeah. Not not that these decks are that popular now, but I mean I saw some resurgence of this a little bit. Bounce decks like you're gonna beast some of your cards back. I mean, and
Ooh.
if Mobius is out, nope.
Oh
Like
God, yeah, shit.
it's gonna be more of a pain to
I
do
didn't
that.
think of
Right?
Beast and Sarah. You're bringing up decks I've forgotten about. They were. I mean, there wasn't that long ago that they were popular.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I mean, I think this card is just gonna. I'm. I can't even think of what the meta is gonna shift to.
Yeah, it
But
might be bad. Like, see, this might be a stale meta. This could be a stale meta. Like the meta right now is pretty. Like we just pulled up the list. There's 5, 6 decks you could play.
yeah,
Loki's a pretty fun deck too. It's not like Sandman or Galactus. Or Shuri. It's like pretty fun.
yeah.
So this is not a stale. Twitter, relax. X, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Let's chill. All right, it's
I
not that
think.
bad.
No, we'll
This
chill. We'll
this
chill.
card could make a very stale meta. I could see it.
Yeah. And I told you this last week, and then since I told you this, some people have been saying the same thing, which because it's a legit, sentiment,
Mhm,
is Sauron Shuri
mhm.
is a deck that I think is really good in a Mobius meta because you're not trying to One, you're not trying to reduce costs ever, so like you don't really care if someone plays Mobius. You just laugh at the 2-3 when you're playing your 1-7 Ebony Maw with no ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and then two, it's pretty good for again into like not amazing, but it's decent into Loki as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Loki still loves stealing the cards, but they have the ongoing effects. You're not going to waste a turn playing Sauron. Like if they're playing a 4-14 Red Skull, well, it still has the ongoing, and yours doesn't. So
Well, that's a game of chicken though that
yeah,
the Shuri player gets to control, because
yeah,
if the Shuri player actually sees that as a problem, they could just play their own Mobius and they're fine.
yeah,
Like it'd be very easy. Those decks have a room for like a tech card, if they want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
So,
That's
but
true. Then it counters Loki. Then they're playing like
yeah, they just counter
your
the
deck
Loki with
with
Mobius. Like
yeah.
Loki
You
deck
just
can't do
throw this
anything
in
against
there.
Mobius. But then it begs the question: is the Loki deck even going to exist with this card out? I mean, so if you're a Shuri player and they're just Loki's just doesn't exist, why would you waste a slot on Mobius, right? So it's almost like what's optimal. But the nice thing is you get to control it as the Shuri player. You get to say, you get to make a meta call basically and say, I'm seeing
Yeah,
Loki everywhere, or I'm not seeing Loki anywhere. Why? Same thing with your High Evo deck. You didn't even put Luke Cage in it because you're like, well, whatever. I'm not going to see High Evo, but I mean, you ended up
yeah,
giving it to two mirrors, but okay. But it's like the same thing. Like, you know, so I think it benefits the Shuri player, and I think that's a good call. That see to me, I don't know, maybe it's just my own bias. That I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that meta at all. Like I find
no, I'm
Shuri
not
very
saying
boring. Like I don't
I'm
like
not
that
saying that
deck.
I
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not saying that I like the meta. I'm
yeah.
saying that's a deck that I think can thrive with Mobius being everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. That's a smart call. I think it's already a good deck. Like even with the Loki, everything, and Loki can do well against it. It's putting up good numbers now, and
Yeah.
like it's a good deck now. So yeah,
Cerebro as well. I
yeah,
mean, right? You don't care about cards being reduced in Cerebro.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I might play a different Cerebro though, because I'm playing Wave. I'm heavily relying on Wave in my deck right now. Like
yeah,
Wave into Elias is like and again, you've been using it too, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like
yeah,
a massive win condition.
yeah,
If you play the Wave on 5 and you just have priority going into 6, the game is literally just over, and that feels like amazing. And Mobius just kills that completely.
yeah. So I think I think
They can just play their cards now.
yeah, I think there'll be a lot less Loki decks in the first week if people get this card.
Yeah.
Again, like it's gonna be like, all right, we'll start seeing a lot more Loki decks maybe like a month once everyone chills on Mobius.
Yes. Yeah.
Or if Mobius is in every single deck, maybe not. Like then maybe Loki is just an okay deck and not the clear number one deck right now, which it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
Then maybe it's just brings it down to Mobius makes like, okay, it's a good deck, it's okay,
Mhm.
and that's it.
Yeah, maybe you could catch them. Maybe I don't know. You play Rogue or like Enchantress
Yeah,
or something in your Loki deck. Like who knows?
yeah.
Like
So
maybe
I
the
don't know,
Loki
like
deck needs to text something to counter this.
yeah. So maybe I don't. We'll see.
Hmm.
We'll see. I don't know. I think this is going to be a card that's probably, one of the best of the season. It's hard to kind of beat Loki now that we see what the hell that Loki's done. But I think this card will affect the meta and everything more. It's not like a big flashy card, but it will like its ongoing effect is ridiculously powerful. I think.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe I'll just play it like I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Loki in a couple weeks now, but maybe when the Infinity Gauntlet opens up, maybe I'll just try like a Zabu Enchantress list. With like Nick Fury and like Loki and everything. I don't know.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck with your Zabu if there's a lot of Mobius.
No,
Nope.
but
Doesn't reduce.
oh yeah, true. Then I can't turn 3 the Enchantress. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the whole
And
point is I'm playing Enchantress to counter
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But you're right.
But they
Actually, that whole play pattern, like, yeah, that's just gonna lose to Mobius straight up. You're
Yeah,
right.
but I mean, not everyone's gonna have Mobius on turn 2, right? But if there's a lot of it, you will, it might increase the variance of your deck so much that like it's not worth playing a Zabu deck. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
And then again, another thing we just talked about before this podcast is when I was like just theory crafting is like Galactus will go down, will not see as much play as well because if you have Mobius out, it just counters the turn 4 Galactus, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
wave
can't
into
you can't
Galactus
wave Galactus.
dies. Yeah.
Because if you have Mobius down and then you wave, the Galactus is 6, and it's going to
Mhm.
be turn 4 or 5,
Yeah.
and you can't play a 6 cost card on turn 4 or 5 that costs 6.
That'll hopefully help the Twitter whiners at least,
Yeah,
a little bit. That people are
this is
upset.
why this is why I am bringing it up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think it'll make it better in that sense, and that we'll see a lot less Loki and we'll see a lot less Galactus. I think with this card because it's a direct counter and it's only 3,000 tokens,
Mhm.
and I believe its spotlight caches are High Evo and Kang, two legit big bads,
Yeah,
like
actual big bads, but
actual big bads, not the
we've been
created
memeing
big
and
bads.
we've been memeing for months at this point, and they still haven't come down. So I mean, we're
So
kind of the memes are starting to become turned to
two
reality here.
two official announced big bads in writing are going to
Yeah.
be with this. So it's a really good week, I think, to roll spotlight caches.
Mhm.
We could talk about the spotlights with him, but what do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts overall on him? I know I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry.
Oh, my thoughts overall on him. I mean,
Yeah,
just based on you think about Zabu as a card and as a presence, it just since it's come out, even post nerf, think about all the Ravonnas running around now and Loki's and Quinjet. I mean, it feels like it's going to be one of the best cards in the game on release. I think over time it'll probably
Quinjet.
die down, sorry kid, what are you saying?
No, I was like, yeah, Quinjet. Yeah, just cucks Quinjet completely.
Yeah, Quinjet, like any shield deck,
Oh
like
my god.
like the wave ramifications are like really important. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of the best cards in the game. I mean, 2-3 is not a big commitment for what you get out of this card. And maybe a month from now it won't be as because maybe people will be playing decks that don't care about it anyway. So then,
Yeah.
in a meta like that, it's going to be like irrelevant then. So
Yeah,
it's
I
going
know,
to be
but
like one of those.
yeah, that's true. Anytime though, there's like Zabu decks, which is always,
Yes.
uh, wave anything. Like this card's just good. Like I think it's always gonna be good from here on out.
I think it's on
Or-
release. It's going to be like a top 5 card in the game, like straight up. Like,
100%.
yeah. So
This card's gonna be ridiculous, and it's like just its impact is gonna be subtle at first. It's not a big card, like a big flashy card like Goliath that like just destroys their whole turn.
yeah,
It's gonna be played, and then it's gonna be played against you, and you're gonna look at your deck, and you're like, "Oh, I can play it. No, I can't. Oh, no. Oh," and then you're like, "Oh
it's going to
shit."
kind of be like the Soul Stone in Thanos, right? Where it's
Yeah.
like it looks kind of subtle on paper, and then you start trying to play Thanos. You're like, wait a second, I can't like play this deck now. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
Exactly.
that. Where like, oh god, I
Yeah.
thought I could play this, now I can't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not mad about it though. I guess, which is weird because
No.
there is no counter right now to cost reduction at all, and it feels like everything else in the game has a counter, right? So it
Yeah.
is nice that at least there's an answer there. And if it's so crazy, maybe they can release it to 3 costs or something.
Yeah. Or bring it down to like a 2/2, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Luke Cage is a 2/2. I think this card's just better than it. This effect is just better than Luke Cage.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, Luke
He's a
Cage
2/3.
has
I
his
feel
uses
bad
though,
for
right?
Luke Cage. What?
Like Luke Cage has his uses though, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, no.
yeah.
I know. I'm saying like if this card was a 2/2, I wouldn't be mad at all. I'd be like, yeah, I still, you know.
Hmm.
So for me, for the spotlight caches next week, I will not be rolling spotlight caches. One because have high Evo
Hmm.
and Kang. For some reason, I have Kang.
Hmm.
Um, and he's only 3,000 tokens,
Yeah.
which I think is a steal for him. So I'll be spending 3,000 tokens on him.
Yeah. I
Um,
I I don't have Kang, but I don't want Kang. I'm gonna be buying this guy for 3K the second he comes out.
yeah, here he is. Yeah, Mobius, high Evo, and Kang.
And yeah, if you don't have high Evo, man, roll, man, because high Evo's awesome and has been unbelievable since release and is still awesome after 2 nerfs. So and is a confirmed big bad. So I think you roll anyway. If you don't have high Evo, I think it's a no brainer. That's a 6K card that honestly, high Evo arguably is more exciting of a card than pretty much any card that's coming out in the next few weeks, right? So like.
Yeah, or any card that's like almost ever been released. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah. So I
amazing
think
card.
that now's your chance to get it. If you missed it the first time, like yeah, pull the trigger, man. Get that big certified confirmed big bad. Unlike Jeff and Hitmonkey, which we call big bads, but we don't know yet.
Echo, big bad. X23,
Yeah,
big bad.
Echo. Oh my God, Echo's egregious, right? Like, why is
Yeah.
Echo a big fat? Even
Um.
Mirage was 3K on release. Like, they put Echo
Yeah.
at 6. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, so yeah, and even like Mobius is gonna cuck all the Ravonna decks that aren't even that good but
Yeah.
fun. It's just gonna be no fun. But yeah, this I think you roll spotlights on this, you know, because this is a great week to roll spotlights, and I think eventually,
If you
even
don't
if you
have
get
Evo, if you don't have Evo, for sure.
yeah, if you don't have high evo, if
Mm,
you do have high evo,
mm,
personally,
mm.
I would not waste spotlight caches on this, and
No.
I would spend 3,000 tokens for Mobius because I think he'll definitely be that good.
Look, Kang
Um,
slows the game down. Marvel Snap
yeah,
is a fast game. It's just for the fact that the animation takes too damn long. That's that
yeah,
on that principle alone. I refuse to get Kang. I'm not getting them. I don't care. I don't want this game to sped up. This is what makes Marvel Snap special to me. It's so fast paced, and
yeah,
there's no like. I go. Do you want to respond? Do you want to react? Do you want to do that? No. You play the cards. They flip over. Shit just happens. It's great, and that's a
yeah.
beautiful thing about Marvel Snap. Kang just completely turns that whole thing and shoves it on its head. And we got to rewind. We got to watch this. Now we got to replay the turn. But I snap. My snap counts. Maybe my snap doesn't count. I could snap again. This is BS. Stupid
Yeah.
card. I'm not getting Kang. I'm spending 3K. I got like 11K saved up. Mobius, easy purchase.
I think that too. Like on top of that, which is what I was gonna say as well, is I think that if you're rolling spotlights for Mobius and you end up getting Kang, I think don't be sad. Be sad for now, but I
Mhm.
think this card's in for a rework.
I
Like
agree. Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to rework this card at some point. I
Mhm.
don't know how they're gonna do it, what they're gonna do, but I think at some point you're gonna have to rework this card because
That's a good call. I'm
it's
being
kind
a
of
little bit
crap.
emotional. That's a good, strong lot. That's a logical call right there.
I could be wrong though. I don't know. I don't work a second dinner. They could never touch this card again and be like, ah, it's a broken card, whatever.
Yeah.
Ravonna makes it a 4.
Cerebro Zero. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't stay on the board.
Yeah, unless they have Mobius out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is an easy week um to roll spotlights on. I don't think there's anything too incredibly crazy coming up. But I mean, when you get Mobius, which is going to be one of the best cards, most likely one of the best cards, and High Evo, easily one of the best cards. And even if he's not one of the best, he's one of the most fun if you don't have him, because you can make 3 or 4 different decks with him that are relatively competitive.
Yeah.
So like you just unlock and you unlock like 7 different cards when you have him.
Yes.
That like you just can have fun playing with that you've never played with before. So it's like,
And just take me and kids' word for it. They are really fun to play with. Like they're
yeah,
fun. Yeah. It's like if you're trying to play a game, have fun. Like yeah, it's fun.
yeah. We spent 6K on High Evo. This is before Spotlights. We spent
Yeah.
6K the day of
Mm.
and bought him
Happily,
because
happily.
and like not yeah no regrets
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Easy purchase.
Yeah. So Mobius I think is going to be awesome.
Mhm.
Um let's get into then we're talking about spotlights and upcoming stuff. Let's talk about some of the November cards
Sure.
that have been data mined. Now I'll have to say that these cards are, just data mined.
Mhm.
November's a long time away. They could be changed. We don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the time with
Um,
the changes too, the concept of the card is usually the same. They just kind of tweak the stats or the cost and stuff. So
yeah, yeah,
like Eliath, went from a 5 to a 6 cost, like stuff like this. Usually
yeah,
the text of the card usually doesn't change, like from what I've seen anyway, right?
yeah.
Anecdotally in my head, I haven't done the research.
Sometimes, yeah. If
Yeah,
they're like, if it was data mined from like a year ago, it
Mhm.
changed. Like one of them here is completely different.
Yeah,
But I mean, a year ago is like different than like a month data mine.
yeah.
So the season pass card is Miss Marvel.
Mhm.
It's gonna be. I think there's a Marvel movie coming out, so I think it's gonna align with that. The Marvels.
Mhm.
This card is a 4/5. It's read as ongoing, adjacent locations where your cards have unique costs
Hmm.
have +5 power.
Cards
So
plural. So the locations, the
yeah, so
location gets five power.
it's like a Mr. Fantastic
It's
on
no,
steroids.
it's not like Mr. Fantastic. This is like better than Omega Red.
No, yeah, it's like Mr. Fantastic on steroids,
That's Omega Red.
but if you put her in the middle, you can get a 415. But whatever location she's next to, if that location has cards with unique costs, then that
Mhm.
location automatically gets 5 power.
Yeah, this is broken.
So you can have like a 1 drop and a 3 drop in there, then you're in. If you have 2 1 drops, it doesn't get plus 5 power. This seems like a ridiculous card, in my opinion.
I mean, just think about Omega Red for a second, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, like Omega Red's a 4/5, okay? Same thing. It's a 4/5,
Poor Omega
and
Red.
you have to be winning by 10 at the end of the game, and it's ongoing, so it can be, well, this is ongoing too, so you can counter it with, the usual ongoing stuff. But you have to be ahead by 10, and you don't get +5, you get +4 on each location,
Yeah.
which, okay, I understand they're balancing the game. It would be like a 4/13. Dr. Doom is a 6/15, right? So,
Yeah.
but way easier condition to meet than Omega Red. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a definitely easier condition to meet than Omega Red, and it's more power. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and not that obviously Omega Red's a bad card. I'm not trying to,
Yeah.
I'm not coping or anything. I know it's a bad card. I'm not Molt,
Yeah.
all right. I know it's bad, but
Yeah.
this is like, yeah, this thing's this just seems super broken to me. Like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
Now, I will say too, because I'm just gonna, we gotta talk through everything. I think it's a really powerful card as well.
Mm.
Um, in order to get like the max benefit, you have to play in the middle lane. You're not always gonna be able to play in the middle lane. So if you, this is gonna sound really dumb coming out of my mouth, but and you can feel free to laugh. If you just play it on like the left or the right lane,
Mhm.
then it's like max of 410.
That's a 4/10. Yeah. Which can't get Shang-Chi.
Which it's like better than the claw almost. Claw's a 510.
Claw. This is Claw if it's on one lane. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
And
Claw. Like
like,
it's the same thing.
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I haven't really like just because I think I read these cards once like a while ago, and
Mm.
so I'm kind of just, this is like almost a first take for me. It definitely is a first take for you. But like I haven't thought about like how easy it will be to get this condition. Like,
I was just thinking that. So okay, so let me. A couple counters just popped into my head. Okay, number one, Raptors. Okay, Raptor
mhm,
location. Okay, GG, GG, not GG. Could be a 4/10 with the Raptors. Whatever.
yeah,
Squirrels. If you play a one anywhere, right? Like you have
yeah,
squirrels, but you're running ones in your deck. Like that could be tricky. Uh, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, right? Somebody has
yeah,
a 3 or a 5. You send a little gobby over there. Boom, -5 plus minus whatever the goblin does, right? So
yeah, yeah,
there's some ideas. Viper,
yeah,
debris.
yeah. They get one cost over there.
I don't know. These don't sound super reliable. I mean, obviously, you could enchantress,
Yeah, rogue,
but you
rogue,
could just.
rogue would be dirty.
Oh yeah, rogue is interesting, but I mean, you could say the same thing about those. Same thing with claw, right? You can do the rogue on a claw is awesome. Rogue on a claw is +6 is awesome, and
Yeah.
enchantress on a claw too. But like
Usually,
claw is
I'll
played
say,
in some decks unironically and like a
yeah,
pretty decent card, and
he's
like
good. No, he's good. He's
yeah,
good.
like
He's good, especially
claw's a
in
good
Thanos
card, and like
decks.
this is just better than claw, like straight up.
Yeah, I think Claw is severely underplayed. He's a good card for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I
The
agree. I agree with
problem
that.
with
Yeah.
playing Rogue on like a Claw, in my opinion, is that Claw's usually played on turn 5, hardly
Mhm.
ever before, unless it gets cheated out, which doesn't always.
Mhm.
But like, it feels really bad to play Rogue on turn 6, whereas playing Rogue on turn 5, if this is played on turn 4,
Mhm.
doesn't feel as bad. Like, I wouldn't mind spending 3 mana on turn 5 with something else to take Miss Marvel's effect and still have my turn 6 play.
To the point though. Do we just wait till 6 and just slam the marble in the middle? Like, you know,
Yeah, you set everything up and then play like
yeah,
Marvel, like
just play like a
Silk
4
or
and a 2
something.
or something. Like
Be like, sorry.
just to
Oh,
play,
dude,
yeah, Marvel Silk or something, or
play
Marvel.
Marvel. Oh my god. Or no,
Yeah,
you play Marvel on 5 and then Onslaught.
yeah,
you
yeah. I
get
was I was thinking that too when I
10.
first read it. Yeah, yeah.
You
I
get
just
10
I
on
have
each side.
PTSD trying to make Onslaught work, man. I can't find a way to make that card do anything.
You have to play Hella Tribunal lists. He was
True.
okay in Thanos. I liked him in Thanos ongoing lists. I had him in a few, and he was really good in them.
Yeah.
I liked having him
Mhm.
because yeah, I like trying to find ways of making him work too. Because I'm like, I want to play more of this card. He was good in Thanos Ongoing. Then they killed Thanos and whatever. I'm not going to talk about that again. Clearly bitter. Clearly fucking bitter about it. But yeah, Miss Marvel. So early impressions, easiest $10 I've spent in my life to get the season pass card.
Yeah, I mean, God, I mean, it's weird though. It's like, man, are they just low-keying again? Like they're just releasing these broken cards. I mean, we're gonna have the Twitter. We're gonna. I mean, I don't even have Twitter, but I see some comments like, uh,
This won't be as broken as Loki because like whatever, you're just gonna have her in the deck and people just have her in the deck, but it's not gonna like if there's a mirror. I think the worst part about Loki were the mirrors. So if
mhm.
there's a mirror where they have Miss Marvel, it's like all right, fine.
Yeah, it's
You
not the
both have a
biggest deal, I guess,
you both
but
have a powerful card that's not doing like stealing your deck and making it playing everything. It won't be as frustrating when you
it
see
might.
all your cards getting played. When you see all your cards getting played for one less, and you're like, this is bullshit. Like that sucks.
It might be frustrating. Like I want to caution. Like when a card is this broken, like it might be that
Maybe,
frustrating.
maybe,
Like say you play Cosmo on 3 and a Marvel on 4. That
yeah.
might be extremely tilting to play against.
Yeah.
Like that.
let me
Like what do you do? Like they have 5 5 5. Like is it 5 8 5 whatever they played on the first 2 turns, and they got 2 more turns to play whatever the hell they want. Like I don't know, man.
let me just put things into perspective for you.
It's tough.
This is at best a 415 at best. Collector is routinely a 215.
Yeah, true.
Routinely.
Yeah, in a mirror for sure. He gets way up there. Yeah,
Even no, not in the mirror. It's
yeah,
routinely a 210, 212.
yeah,
What's the
because
nerf?
it's like a shield deck. Yeah.
That is frustrating.
Mhm. Okay, I see your point. Yeah.
But anyways, I think it's a really, really good. I think it's a really, really good card. I don't think it won't. I don't think it's going to cause uproar. Maybe a little bit, but not even close to Loki amounts.
I'm just trying to think how what do we do to play against it? Because yeah, I think you just play it, and that could be bad if everybody comes to that conclusion. Like I just have to play it.
It's
Yo,
just gonna be. It's gonna be
legit,
Move Surfer. It's gonna be Move Surfer with Werewolf by Night and Rogue.
Marvel, Mystique, and then Onslaught.
Oh Jesus Christ! And Tribunal.
Oh no.
You can just Mystique in like a different lane too, if you really wanted to. If you're like playing over, if you're playing
You're playing Cosmo, yeah.
around Enchantress.
Or you could go Invisible Woman on 2, and then
Visible
and
Woman, Miss
then 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 you're hiding the Marvel, and you're going 4. Okay, this is what you're doing. You're going Marvel, Iron Man, Onslaught.
Yeah, those are all different cost cards too.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess it's the adjacent
I don't know if it
location.
matters. It's not even in the other lanes. Yeah, so you can maybe put a
Oh,
1 in each other lane. Because I think it's going to be per location, right? So if you have a 1 on the left and a 1 on the right, you should still be fine, right? As long as it's just like
I
both locations.
I think
Mhm.
I don't know, and then also I don't know is if you have nothing in the location,
Yeah, I was thinking that you
it probably
probably
won't
need to have
trigger.
minimum 1 card. I would
Yeah,
guess, right?
because then you can't just have a 450.
Yeah, because it says where your cards have unique costs. Well, if you don't
Mhm.
have any cards, then I don't think they have unique costs, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
don't
I
think
think
so
you would
either.
need at least
Yeah.
1 card. That would be my
Yeah, I
guess.
think so too.
Yeah.
So you can get cucked by locations, like so. Jeff will really help out in this kind of a deck.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Miss Marvel, really good, easy buy. I think if it gets released like this, no
Mhm.
questions asked. Very powerful card.
Mhm.
Now, next card, what I think is might be more broken than this one.
Oh, no. I
Uh,
haven't seen this card.
buckle up. Gladiator is
Okay.
a 3/8. All
What?
right, and his on reveal, add a card from your opponent's deck to their side of this location.
Mm.
If it has less power, destroy it.
I gotta say, I do love this, but they obviously need to nerf it. Like the 8's way too much for this.
I think so too.
I don't understand. Like, did the same people that make Lady Deathstrike make this card? Because it has to be 2 different people, right?
Like, yeah,
Think about
I
Lady
don't know.
Deathstrike. Like, they're like, oh, we can't make Lady Deathstrike too much power, or it'll kill everything. And it's like Gladiator. Ah, fuck it, 3/8. It's fine. Let's kill everything.
Yeah,
Like,
like
what is that?
what's like a really bad thing that can happen? Like it pulls out Doctor Doom, right? I'm assuming the card's on reveal goes off, right?
Mhm.
Um, like a
You
Doctor Doom, and they could have Doom bots, but like then you've killed their Doctor
you
Doom,
pull
and
out
they're
a
still
Hulk, right?
probably
You
stuck
pull out a
there.
Hulk. That I think that's what they're thinking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like but there's only one Hulk in the deck. Like, I mean, it has
Maybe they're
if
thinking like people are just gonna play ramp or something. Like if this card gets popular,
yeah.
then people start playing ramp or Hella decks or something, and you know
But then like you play Forge
even
on
Hella
two.
gets murked by this.
Yeah, you you play Forge on two. And you
Oh
play
God.
Gladiators at 311.
Shuri Gladiator.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, that's the other thing too. You don't have to play this on three.
Just get the 16. You're chilling, man. It's Shuri Gladiator.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
this
This is too
I
much.
don't know.
They have to
Like
nerf. This has to be like at most a 6 power, I think, right? Like this got to be
like
like a three
again,
six.
yeah, again, like I haven't like this makes me feel the same feeling I felt before they released High Evo as a 4/7. Because
Right.
for people that don't know, before they released him, like a week before, he was slotted as like a 4/7,
I thought it was
and it was
four
only like
six. I thought it was 4 6.
no,
Oh,
nope, it was four
oh
seven.
seven. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was 7,
Mhm,
100%.
mhm,
The original one, and then like 2 days before, they're like, "Oh yeah, 4/4."
mhm.
We're
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, okay, that makes more sense."
Yeah.
Because we were even saying like, "Oh, even the other card," we were saying for High Evo, like, "Oh, all his cards look broken," but like, even if you don't draw any of them, you're playing a 4/7 is ridiculous.
I think
This is a 3/8.
they must do most of their testing like the week leading up to it. I imagine the logic is something like, they want to test it in the current meta before they release it into that meta. And I think the
Yeah,
same thing happened with Eliath, right? Which is like, what the hell? This card's a 5 cost. Like this is crazy. Everybody reacted the same way. Like it's the best card in the game at a 5 cost. Like Eliath at a 5 is insane. And
yeah,
then like two
yeah,
days before or like a week before they moved it to a 6, right? So
yeah.
they probably haven't tested this, to be honest. Like it's just it's data mine. It's not, they haven't even released this yet, so
Yeah, no, no,
yeah.
it's yeah, it's data mine for November. So like, I would be shocked to see if he stays like this,
Mhm.
and then like you could just surfer him on turn 6 as well and make him a 3/10.
I gotta say though, like I love this effect.
It's cool.
I love
Yeah,
it. Like this is hilarious.
yeah. Oh, there's gonna be some good memes with this card. This is gonna
Yeah,
be
like this is a fun card. Like
That's gonna be
this is
amazing.
this is some wild shit right here.
Like,
Like
and
even
like people are
Marvel
gonna,
just seems like just a way better Mr. Fantastic. Like just a good
yeah,
card. Like but it's kind of boring a bit. It's just like here's some power. Like whatever.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
got power. This gladiator thing, like man, this is whoa. Like what's it gonna be? Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
And
don't
it'll
know.
destroy Galactus, like because it's an 8 power. Like,
I mean, yeah. I guess yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's not as broken as we think. Like I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
no, I mean, who knows? Like, if it pulls the Chavez, like it
Yeah,
just loses. Like,
yeah.
then the Chavez is out. Like,
They
there's a
have a
lot of
shot with it, right?
if it pulls a Vision, if some people are playing Vision, anything that's 8 power.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, arrow. There's not a lot of arrow out there, but yeah, something like that.
yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know, but like the bottom line is it'll destroy most things
Hmm.
because most things are below 8 power, and you like are ecstatic to play a 3/8.
Yeah.
Like you have to do like 3 steps to get Dawkin a 3/8, which is pretty reliable, but still, like 3/8's really good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I think all of these at this point, which I think they have changed them uh um before. I think they're all Series 5, so I think they're all 6K.
That's brutal.
Does it say down here? Oh no, Martyr is a Series 4. Never mind. We'll get to
Okay,
her.
good. Thank God.
So
There's only
this is
one.
yeah, this is a sick. So like as of now, I don't even care what the fuck is in the spotlights. I'm
Yeah,
rolling for this card
we're doing it.
100%.
We're
If it's
rolling,
a
baby.
as of right now, if it's 3/8, like there's just no way I'm not.
Yeah.
Um. All right, let's move on to the next card because Gladiators
Well,
are great. This card,
for me, I'm probably gonna have to pick between this and the next card since it's also Series 5. So we'll see. Let's see what the next
yes.
card is.
So Annihilus.
Mm.
So this card before was data mined a year ago. I think the
Mm.
effect on this was every card on the board moves to random locations.
Oh, that's insane.
It was just wild.
Yeah, that's insane.
But it's definitely not like that. But that like again was like a year ago.
Mhm.
So this one Annihilus 5/8. So great stats to begin with, like not 3-8, but 5-8's really like premium, good
Okay,
stat line.
what? Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I just read it. Go
So
ahead.
it's an on reveal. So on reveal,
What?
your cards with 0 or less power
Mhm.
switch sides, destroy those that can't. So I don't I don't know how good this effect is going to be. It'll be good for junk decks, I guess, right? Um,
Your cards. Okay, has to be your cards. It's
yeah,
destroying. It's only destroying your cards.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's
I
not as
think
crazy. I thought it was
that
destroying all the cards for a sec. Okay,
no that's how I read it.
I was freaking out a
Like
bit. Yeah.
he might be good in like destroy decks. Like if you want to kill some stuff and get your null big, and he's an 8 power. Like if you have a Bucky Barnes, like he might be good in destroy
Hmm.
because like anytime you're destroying stuff is a good time, right?
Oh, destroy those that can't. Yeah. Oh, destroys all your cards. Yeah, I didn't realize
Like
this is just a destroy card. Yeah. Okay.
X23 Wolverine.
No,
Um,
it's literally just destroyer. This is a 5/8 destroyer.
but it's just on your.
Yeah.
Oh wait a minute.
Think about it. This is just a 5/8 destroyer.
Okay, for some reason
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna happen at the one location. It should, right? Nope. You think
No,
on the whole board?
the whole board. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about location. Your
All right.
cards with 0 or less power switch sides. Destroy those that can't. Yeah, I think this is going to be the whole board.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's I mean it counters goblins, right? If somebody sends a goblin over, this will send it back. So it's like Odin on their goblins. So that's a
yeah.
bit of a niche use there, but I think like you said, this is a destroy card. So
Counters junk decks.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the niche use, right? It sends the goblins
Yeah.
back over. Or yeah, or any if they
Rocks.
hazmated you or something, right? Any hazmat on a rock or something, send it back, which is nice. But that's so niche, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the second part of that. It's a 5 cost destroyer, which I think is really interesting because you could play this and then you could just play destroyer after,
Yeah. I guess you could set up an armor lane as well, right?
Yeah, well, that would
For
be
thing
yeah,
for
that would
things
be
you
the
don't want to
Spectrum
die.
Destroyer, way
Yeah.
to see it.
Yeah. Well, for things you don't want to die, because you don't want to kill. Like if you have a venom, I mean,
I'm thinking about Nimrod. That's my
yeah,
Nimrod is popping into my head. Like
yeah. You have to.
Deadpool. Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be great if Thanos wasn't unplayable. You could fucking cheat out Nimrod with a time stone
yeah,
reliably. That was a
Mhm.
Thanos Destroy wasn't even like it was a fun deck, but it wasn't top tier
Yeah. A lot
Destroy
of them
either.
played Psylocke too, right? Just to you kind of
Yeah,
increase your odds of getting the cheat card.
yeah, and he was even good for like Deadpool, right? You could destroy your Deadpool
That's what
if
I'm
you need to
saying.
destroy it,
This is really
and,
good.
and then just play like a Deadpool Taskmaster on your last turn.
I'm kind of sad reading it
Or
because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford this card, like just monetarily. And
oh,
I mean, it's not like I don't
I
have the
just
money. Yeah, I just don't want to, spend 80
I
bucks on
just
it or whatever.
yeah, I just thought of something. I'm just gonna ignore you. I don't care.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
hear
Go
your depressing life.
ahead.
No, I'm just I'm just joking. No, you might. Who knows? Let's see.
Yeah,
Um, dude, you could play this card on turn 5, destroy like Deadpool X23.
yeah,
Then you
yeah,
could play like reliably play null Deadpool on turn 6.
yeah. That's what I'm saying,
That's
man. This is a
wild.
destroy card. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, like you could cheat out Nimrod with X23. Like that's another way you could cheat it out. So if you get
Yep.
Nimrod on 4,
Yeah.
Annihilus, and then on turn 6 you play, also like a lot of those decks run Magic anyway. You could play Magic, but then turn 6 would be like Venom Carnage or Venom Deathlock, something like that, like
Yeah.
Venom Deathlock Deadpool. Like yeah, I mean, just having another destroy card, and this one seems like pretty cool. Whereas
Yeah.
Destroyer is kind of niche because he's 6 cost. He's really hard to make work. Like
Yeah.
having him at the 5 cost, I think is awesome
Yeah.
for destroy.
This is really cool.
Mhm.
I think he'll be okay. He'll be like a this card as especially as a 6,000 was be something that if I really really wanted him would have to roll spotlights for,
Mhm.
and he'll be one where I wait to see if content creators like it or
Well,
not.
it'll be similar to X-23, but maybe, not as like when we read X-23, we think, oh, this is like the best destroy card, like when we first read it.
Yeah,
This doesn't feel like that, but it definitely feels like it's a really good piece to have in
tool.
the destroy archetype specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It feels like a good tool,
Yeah.
especially Deadpool, because like, yeah, you could easily get Deadpool Taskmaster, but you slam down a 5/8 and you're getting a Deadpool Taskmaster or Deadpool Null if you have X-23 out there.
This is a massive, massive buff to Deadpool deck for sure.
And Wolverine, like you're definitely including Wolverine in that deck too, because yeah, this is great. Yeah,
Even
he'll
in
be
it,
cool.
like think about this, like a Shuri Nimrod list, right? If you don't draw Nimrod, you could go Shuri Annihilus. You have a 16. He kills all your destroy shit. Like you have a Bucky Barnes or a Deadpool, whatever the hell you have out there, and you're rolling. So you got
That's true.
you option select, and you probably have an X-23 out there too. Like obviously you're gonna play that in this deck,
Yeah,
so like stuff like that. Like it's just this is a really good
yeah.
destroy card.
And if you're having rocks or any weird shit on your side that your opponent sent you, they're
Yeah.
just going right back.
Yeah, well, yeah, 0 or less. Oh, yeah, 0 switches sides. Okay, I thought it had to be less than 0. But yeah,
No,
and all of this, powers up your death for 6 as well, right? So,
yeah,
this
like
is great synergy with death as well.
yeah, you can never play Iron Man though. So
Yeah. Ain't nobody playing that in Destroy.
yeah, and you're not playing a null early if you haven't destroyed anything to give it to them.
You pray that you don't have Taskmaster, and then they play Shadow King with priority to put your Taskmaster at 0, and then it bonks you. But then at that point, your Taskmaster is 0 anyway. Who cares, right?
Yeah, you would have but if they had power, you would have destroyed it anyway. So why would you want to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They just kill it. Yeah, you're right.
You would have just killed it.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah,
Uh,
let's go to
so
Martyr.
yeah, I think it's a cool card.
Hmm.
This will be one that has 6. If 3K out insta buy.
It's a big
Um,
want card for me. Like I really want it because I already think of really cool decks to make with it, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be good.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see when like our resources and stuff by the time this comes out.
Mhm.
This is like mid-November, so Martyr, very interesting card. The only Series 4 card of the month.
Mhm.
So it's a 2/6, and it says at the end of the game, move to a location that loses you the game,
I love it.
if possible.
Yes. So it's reverse Captain. This is Dark Captain
Re-
Marvel. I
yeah,
love this. This is Chaos
this is
Captain Marvel.
reverse Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this card is gonna be nuts.
This is
I'm
fire.
just I'm just gonna
Yeah, this
say
is
it. I
fire
think
right
this
here. I
card.
love this.
I think there's gonna be so many more times that this doesn't lose you the game
Mhm.
than does than will lose you the game. I mean, I could be dead wrong, but um, yeah, you could just you could just build your deck, around like filling locations, put it in a Brood Patriot list, you know,
Yeah.
because it's then just give it almost nowhere to fly, or like you're so far ahead that with a 2/6, it's hard for a 2/6 to go to a different location and lose you the game, Like I think anyway. Like I could be very very wrong. I don't
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah, I think it's gonna go with Patriot's a good call. I think like, I hate to say it, but it's kind of boring. It'd be like good cards kind of decks, like, the little movers. I think, this is perfect deck for that.
yeah,
It gives you another out with the Craven because now it's a 2/8. So
2/8, yeah,
is it gonna lose you the 2/8 lane, and it just won't go to the Craven lane? So
yeah,
because now it's 8 power. So but just because that deck naturally you just spread out so much power on the board anyway. So like, where's it gonna go that it loses you the game, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
And like 2/6, it's like ridiculous stats for a 2-drop.
yeah, yeah. We haven't really
Uh,
seen it like a 2/6, like
yeah.
other than Collector right now. It's way higher than 6, but yeah.
That's true.
But like a
So yeah, this
straight up 2/6, like Morbius usually goes higher, right? Collector goes higher, but these are like very conditional.
yeah,
This is just a straight up 2/6 the second you play it, which is, we know how powerful a 2/5 is. 2/5s ruled the meta for a whole month and a half. So, and
yeah,
then before that, Lizard was like the best card in the game. So,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. I think this is like for me pretty, unless there's something really good in the spotlights. For me, pretty easy 3,000 tokens. I think will be a generically good card. At this point, not one that I'd recommend people to insta buy. For me,
Mhm.
it will be, but I mean, like, I have a lot of tokens. But I would say this is one that kind of like wait and see. This is one you could afford to wait and see, because then it'll just end up in the shop as 3K. Even
Mhm.
if you miss it in the spotlights, it's not a
Yeah.
huge deal to miss it, because like then you can get it in like a week. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're reading the cards. First impression. I mean, really, I actually really like the card design. Miss Marvel's the only one where the card design doesn't get my juices like super flowing, but I am still excited to play her and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it seems to me like Miss Marvel and Gladiator are going to be the priority. Like, save up, make sure you can get those two cards, and then the other two seem more like okay, maybe more niche, maybe more wait and see.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
like for Miss Marvel, like just don't order 2 pumpkin spice lattes in October, and then you'll be able to afford the season pass card.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be fall. It's gonna be tough to not drink. The pumpkin spice are
if you
pretty
can
good. Yeah,
refrain
yeah,
from not ordering 2,
yeah.
which will be $5 each,
Mhm.
then you can get Miss Marvel and have a lot of fun for all of November and beyond.
The Starbucks banana bread's like pretty fire too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's probably like $8 for a fucking piece. I don't even
Worth
know. I
it.
hate Starbucks.
No, I
I
mean
make my own
I'm kidding. I
coffee.
mean, you live in the states. I mean, we in Canada, we just go to Tim's. It's like
Yeah.
$2 for a coffee, and we're big chilling over here. So,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, yeah.
If you're giving up 5 coffees, and then no, your season pass for Canadian dollars is what, $15?
No, it's like
12?
12.99, I think. So maybe $13. Yeah,
Yeah, so then you gotta, instead of giving up 2 coffees, like, you gotta give up 6 coffees, like,
yeah,
that's a sacrifice you gotta think about. That's like
yeah. That's
a
true. Yeah,
whole week.
it starts to add up. Yeah.
That's a whole week of headaches in the morning that you don't wanna deal with,
It's fair.
2 days you can struggle through the 2 days,
Yeah,
but,
it'd be good
um
motivation. We're giving up coffee.
So, yeah, I think these cards are fire. We can go through, like, their spot we can see, because I think we have their spotlights, right?
Mhm.
Just what they are, in November. So the first November spotlight, and we can just go through quick impressions of this, just because it's so far away. But we'll go through quick impressions of this. November 7th is Eliath, Null again, and Negasonic. Um, I
Lol.
don't know, lol.
It has Elias, so that's cool.
Yeah,
It has
this
one
seems
card.
this yeah this seems okay.
I mean, if you haven't
Um,
got Null, but like, this is like the ninth time Null's in a spotlight. So
yeah. Hey, if people don't have them, they don't have them.
no, but I think they wanted him. They would have got him in like the last two that he was in. I mean, this is
That's
like
true.
how many times is they're going to put Null in the spotlight? This is
I
crazy.
I I wish they would repeat other stuff like Iron Lad, or like maybe we see Howard the Duck once. That would be all right.
This was kind of my original concern with the spotlight caches. Like we're at the mercy of the cards they pick, and I mean, if they're just gonna put Null in every
Yeah.
one, I mean, it's kind of BS. But
I don't know if you
the other
knew.
ones seem pretty good. So.
I don't know if you knew this, but it's probably gonna piss you off. But they asked the devs why they're repeating cards like Null and not doing like Iron Lad. They're like, oh well, we don't have enough variants.
Yeah, I
That's
heard
like,
about that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to digress into that
Mhm.
at this point. Next one will be Gladiator. So Gladiator. So that's the season pass week. November 7th. Then Gladiator will come out November 14th. Gladiator, Mirage, Loki. Pretty easy roll, I think. Pretty easy roll for the spotlight caches if you don't have these cards.
Yeah, Mirage is like a good card too. I did just buy her for 3K, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
not a card you're mad about
Hmm.
picking up if you don't have her.
Yeah,
Like, I'd be pretty pumped if I was rolling spotlights for Gladiator and I got Mirage. I'd be like, oh, this is sick.
yeah. And then
Mirage is
if
a
you
fun
didn't
card.
buy the Loki season pass, I mean, you're laughing with this one. This is a
Yeah,
hard roll.
yeah, this is great.
Hmm.
This is one where I would just like keep rolling to get all of them.
Hmm.
Almost. Then Annihilus, November 21st. You have Annihilus, Dakin X23.
Oh, that's
Um,
actually really cool.
oh, because of Destroy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wish they would do more stuff like this. I mean, this is great. You want to play some destroy? Here's all the destroy cards. They even had the decency to not put Lady Deathstrike in there. So this is nice.
yeah.
I mean, she's also a
They
five
did.
cost too, like a nihilist. So it kind of
Yeah.
clashes with that. So
They
yeah.
did. I mean, they have been kind of once in a while doing themes. Like they had a move theme before, and they had like look here, this
Oh
move theme: Werewolf by
yeah.
Night, Silk, and Ghost Spider.
Mhm.
And then they had Black Knight, Stature, Modoc, and another discard. So they have been doing a good job in that sense, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is a kind of a cool week. I'd say this is the weakest week so far.
Mhm.
but if you like destroy, it's an auto roll.
A lot of people don't have X-23 though, right? Because that was like a tough card to get. I think at the oh no, that was a season pass or no, no, it wasn't, right?
No, Dawkins was a season
Yeah,
pass.
X-23 is like
X23
a
was the first.
6K card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have X-23, I mean, this is a pretty interesting roll, right?
If you like destroy, and if destroy is even remotely somewhat good, I would 100% say this is a legit
Yeah,
roll.
that's a 6K
It's
card,
like
and that thing came out way after Monkey and Jeff. So like,
yeah,
but if those are big bads, I mean, this is a huge bad.
yeah. Monkey's been a big bad for 8 months
Yeah.
almost since the release. Um, Dakin is just a good card as well. Like
Mhm.
he's a solid card. Not
Yeah.
incredible, but he's a solid card, and not one that'd be mad saying, "Oh shit, I got Dakin." I'd be
Mhm.
happy.
Mhm.
And then the last one, Martyr. What a fire variant. Jean Grey and Spider-Man 2099.
Mhm.
So this seems like a Jean Grey, I think, is all right. Spider-Man 2099. Unless they change him, this seems like the weakest one for sure. And I
Yeah,
would
they
just
might change them by
recommend,
then. Who knows? Yeah.
yeah, I would just recommend buying Martyr with tokens.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
yeah, nice. Do you want to go through some quick stonks? I mean, like we're almost 2 hours in, but
Yeah. Okay.
we can
Let's do them quick.
yeah, let's do some quick stonks, baby.
Mhm.
All right, who you got?
Well,
You want me to go?
I'll go. I'll go. I'll start. I mean, I didn't look at the untapped stats before this, so this could be kind of stupid now. But I put good cards. But what I mean by this is like little movers deck. I think might
Yeah,
be stonks. I find that
yeah,
deck hard to play into Loki because the cards are just really good. Like you get a one cost Silk, you get a one cost Craven, you get a one cost Jeff. Like you're the Loki player. I think you just dummy that deck. I mean, I don't know, but the
yeah,
stats look like pretty good. Maybe they're from before, or maybe I'm just ignorant because I haven't even tried to play it because I didn't. That just sounded miserable. The idea of playing that into Loki. So I
yeah,
haven't even tried it. So you know maybe it's better than I think. But I think with the Mobius coming out, you can't reduce these cards. I'm thinking what was the best deck in the last meta when Loki wasn't ravaging everybody. It was
yeah,
the little movers, right? So I'm
yeah,
thinking that is stonks. The other best deck I thought was Sheena, but Snowguard has had a change since Sheena has been a thing. So I
yeah.
mean, I would easily be playing Sheena into Infinite Conquest once again if Snowguard didn't exist. But Snowguard unfortunately does exist, so I don't know about Sheena. So I'm thinking Stonks is going to be specifically Little Movers deck.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a really good take. I agree, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, I have 3 cards that I think will be stonks after Mobius comes out.
Mhm.
Uh, 2 are quite obvious, so I'll go with those for. I mean, yes, one's very obvious, one's kind of obvious, and one's a little spicy.
Mhm.
The obvious one I think is Enchantress. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna be you're gonna want to shut that off
Mhm.
so you can get your combos and stuff off, especially if you're like, any deck really.
Yeah,
I
even
think
now with the Ravonas out there, it's really good, and this is going to be even more Mobiuses than Ravonas. So yeah,
yeah, and there's dinos out there and stuff too. There's still Darkhawks running around. Like
yeah,
I think Enchantress is going to be even a better card now, and I think Mobius will be the kind of straw that broke the camel's back
Mhm.
to get Enchantress to push it into the meta more.
Yeah, I can see that
Uh,
100%.
so that's my obvious one. The other one is Rogue because I think stealing someone plays a Mobius and they think they're sick, and then you
Mhm.
play Rogue the next turn and steal it.
Mhm.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous counterplay
Mhm.
to take Mobius's ability, and then like if you have Wave in your deck, they're screwed.
Mhm. Yeah, you're
Like
just playing multiple cards on 6, and they're not.
if you, yeah, and I
Yeah.
guess if you have Mobius too, you have to
Mhm.
have your own Mobius out as
Mhm.
well. But still, I think Rogue again. This
No, you do
the
have
more and
Mobius.
more.
You have Rogue. Rogue is the
Yeah,
Mobius.
that's true. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. You're right. You're right.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Sorry.
Your
Yeah.
original thought. Your original thought was correct. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I'm stupid.
No, there.
um, but yeah. So, oh,
Luna doesn't like Rogue.
all right.
All right. All right.
Okay. Before my dogs had a stroke. Well, what were we talking about? So I think that Rogue. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Rogue's just gonna be good.
Mhm.
The other spicy stonks that I have,
Mhm.
I think is Killmonger.
Ooh.
Now, I think Killmonger is going to make a resurgence because there's a lot of people playing High Evo.
Mhm.
You know, more and more people playing High Evo. Killmonger wrecks that. And
Thanks,
then
Posey.
yeah, yeah, and then Mobius, or sorry, Loki. There's like Quinjet and stuff too. It just kind of wrecks that. So there's a lot of one drops kind of running around having their day, just being unchecked by Killmonger.
Mhm.
And I think it'll start to make a little bit of a comeback. I think it's going to be good stonks.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's true because it's like if you're taking out your armor, so you could play a Mobius or something, or a Luke Cage or a Wave or something,
Yeah,
right? Like you know, your one drops are just sitting ducks,
yeah,
and you kind
yeah,
of need them for prio, especially if you're playing Alliance. So yeah,
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 yeah.
that's an interesting take. I like that. That's a sneaky, spicy one, but
That's what I'm
Killmonger's
saying.
been great for a long time. So I mean, why not? It'll just be great again.
He's like absent right now. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, it's
So
like, what do you do? Hit a Quinjet? You don't really care, right now. So that's
yeah,
you gotta think about Loki and how much they care about Killmonger. That's why.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'll go. Back to the not stonks. I'll just say the obvious ones. Like we've talked about it, but Wave, Loki, Ravonna, Zabu, Quinjet. All these cards, they're getting Mobius. So we talked about Mobius.
yeah,
Just obvious not stonks. So, we're gonna find more decks that just don't utilize cost reduction.
yeah,
High Evo Shocker. RIP.
yeah. And I think mine too. I think Loki is going to be non-stonks in the coming weeks. Sarah for sure. I think we talked about that
Sarah.
earlier. Going to be fully shut down, and the big G-Man, I believe, as well. Galactus.
Yeah, the wave change. Yeah, that's a sneaky one. People probably didn't think of.
Yeah. So I think we'll be seeing a lot less of him as well. Yeah. So that's it. YouTube at the superSTATbros. Twitter/X, the kid_snap. What do you have to say to the people? No big deal.
Hey, well, this stale meta. It's about to change in 3 days. So enjoy, kids.
That's it. And with that, happy, what is it, Infinite Conquest coming out when Mobius comes out?
Yeah, it's coming out.
Get those spicy, shiny logos. I don't have one yet. That's it. All right. Peace.